The President told your Prime Minister that these are hearsays, these are mere allegations. But we have ended 30 years of terror. And then we also want to ask that nobody spoke of the suffering the Sri Lankans went through for 30 years. And it's only my president and then the Sri Lankans are aware of it. And then we also want to ask the question, what's this sudden interest? Because take Chogam, there was a clear campaign by the LTT rump, which also the president told your Prime Minister about the LTT rump in Australia and other countries, how they campaign with their funds. So that was briefed, and then brought to the attention of your Prime Minister. So this is where we have to be aware of it, the campaign, because LTT is no more, but the funds are there, millions and millions of dollars, so which they are using. And it's very interesting also if you read, if I may say it before maybe you ask this question, where the Australian newspaper has said that about this campaign is a mere publicity stunt.
So do you believe that the focus on Sri Lanka on the questions of human rights and the comments coming from some in the Australian government are unfair?
Yes, it is unfair. See, this is again, I really want to refer to my President's meeting with your Prime Minister, where he said during the meeting that if anybody wants to know about Sri Lanka, let's follow the proper democratic way, have bilateral meetings. He invited the leaders to come and see it. That's the best way. Instead of, you must know the ground situation. So he told Prime Minister Gillard and that there should be more and more bilateral meetings. That is the proper, I would say, diplomatic and the democratic way of any leaders would do to come and see it.
Do you also accept, though, that there is a question of the public perception of what has happened in Sri Lanka and looking to the government to deal seriously with that, especially as Sri Lanka is the next venue for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in 2 years' time?
So about this public perception, which I would want to say perception in quotes, because I would say this is the well-oiled propaganda machinery of the LTT rump. You have people all over the West because they have the funds and they are using it. Because since, again, I repeat myself, that since LTT was defeated, now they are using this money to buy people. I don't know, I don't want to go into detail, but the machinery everywhere, it's millions of dollars. Some people say even billions. The LTT is using that to tarnish the image of Sri Lanka.
But it would be unusual in a conflict for there not to be fault on one side. Surely there's been problems, potentially abuses on both sides of the conflict.
See, I would like to put it this way. We were fighting the most ruthless terrorist organization in the world, and which I really don't like when people say two sides. People have to have clear differentiation between terrorist group and a democratically elected government. And this president he liberated his people. And not, when you say people, all nationalities. That is, we have Sinhalese, Tamils, Muslims, Malays, and Burghers. All five. That has to be understood. So this is, you cannot give equal position to a terrorist organization which killed the president of my country, which killed the Prime Minister of India, and a foreign minister, and thousands of massacred people. So it's time that the other countries understand this.
So was Australia's Prime Minister right to discuss this issue in the meeting? Do you think she understands what your point of view is? And
see, our side, we describe this discussion, the bilateral meeting, as very cordial, the first between the two leaders, very cordial and very successful. I'm sure this meeting helped to understand that and cement our relationship between the two countries, because our two countries have an extremely good relationship. Mainly thanks to cricket and other situations, like, for example, your country, my president, thanked your Prime Minister for helping in the demining process, and then in turn your Prime Minister thanked our country and the president for helping in the human smuggling thing, which we have helped Australia and work together. So this would have really helped for the leaders to understand themselves better and the situation.